Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. Thank you all for joining me once again. So I just read an article that I believe was pretty darn lame. It's about Kamala Harris being honored, or it's going to be honored in the NAACP's Image Awards. They're going to honor her and give her an award for, I guess, a lot of the positive contributions that she's made to people of color. And yeah, so she's going to be awarded for this. So I'm going to get right into this article. This is coming from a more or less a left-leaning news site known as Newsbreak, I believe. Newsbreak is mostly liberal, so a lot of their statements are liberal bias. So I don't take everything that they say as I take it all as a drop in the bucket, okay? But I want to be fair. I don't want to just read from conservative sources, because conservative sources have their own bias as well. So I want to be able to read some stuff from the left as well. I mean, after all, the left is always criticizing and chopping up conservative news sources and calling them a bunch of conspiracy theorists. So I'm going to do the same with theirs. How about that? Yeah. So let's get right into this article and see exactly what they're talking about here. But yeah, you can see it right here. Well, you can't see the name, but that's your girl, Kamala Harris. Anyone who supports her on the channel, I mean, look, that's your girl. All right, that's all good. February 17th, former Vice President Kamala Harris is set to receive the NAACP Chairman Award during their 56th annual NAACP Image Awards ceremony Saturday. So she's already did everything. She's already done it. It's already done. So, yeah. Vice President Kamala Harris is more than a leader. Quote, she is a force of change driven by an unwavering passion to shape a brighter, more equitable future, said Leon W. Russell, the NAACP National Board of Directors Chair. And I'm going to give you guys my opinion on the NAACP and what I personally believe that this is all about in terms of honoring this woman. But yeah. Quote, it is with great honor that we present her with the Chairman's Award at this year's NAACP Image Awards, celebrating her relentless dedication to justice, equality, and the betterment of our society. Purely left-leaning. Equity and the betterment of our society. And from just a personal stance, that sounds very acceptable, okay? It doesn't sound bad. I mean, celebrate her relentless dedication to justice, equality, and the betterment of our society. But the question is, has she actually done that? The Chairman Award is given to people, the article says, who have dedicated their lives to promoting positive change. Harris, 60, is in the company of previous award recipients Amanda Gorman, Samuel Jackson, Danny Glover, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, and Tyler Perry, all liberals. Former President Barack Obama also received the honor when he was a senator, of course, when he was a senator, right? A trailblazer in every sense, former Vice President Kamala Harris will be honored with the prestigious Chairman's Award at the 56th NAACP Image Awards, February 17, 2025. A press release announced Harris as the 2025 Chairman Award honoree, notes that she scored more than 75 million votes in, quote, the shortest modern general election campaign, end quote, during the 2024 presidential election. But the question is why? Why did she score 75 million votes? Was it because she was loved? Was it because of her political contributions? No, I'll tell you why she scored 75 million votes. She scored 75 million votes because the mainstream liberal communist media pumped her up, like I told one of my coworkers, pumped her up and praised her as the second coming of Christ. And everybody fell for the okie doke. The 75 million people who supposedly voted for her fell for the okie doke, just like I said they did, just like I predicted they would. She lost, thank God. But yeah, that was the reason why she got 75, according to this article, if that's accurate, she got 75 million votes. She got 75 million votes not because she was liked or loved or any of that. She got 75 million votes not because she contributed vastly to the black community. She got 70, or any community for that matter, but particularly the black community. She got 75 million votes because the mainstream liberal, biased, communist media pumped her up to the point where people thought she was a second coming of Christ. That's why she got it. But let's go on. Her legacy, her legacy is built on courage, compassion, and a profound commitment to uplifting those who need it most, Russell continued. Her tireless advocacy for the most vulnerable among us has made her a beacon of hope and progress. And this is interesting. The most vulnerable among us. Who are the most vulnerable among us at this point? Who are the most vulnerable among us in the present time in America? I'm not talking about people who are handicapped, truly handicapped, but who are the most vulnerable among us? Okay, we're going to talk about that. The NAACP Image Awards acknowledge people of color for profound artistic work that elevates social justice. Yeah, that's all I'm going to read right there. That's pretty straightforward right there. But at any rate, yeah, I'm going back on the concept of the most vulnerable. Who is the most vulnerable at this point? She's supposed to be an advocate for those who are most vulnerable in our society, but who are the most vulnerable? As I mentioned, true people who are truly handicapped and so forth are the most vulnerable. But I don't believe at all that she's trying to advocate for people who are truly vulnerable. Okay, the mentally ill, those who are physically handicapped. Those are the true vulnerable people in our society. But no one living in America today who has their right mind, who has the use and activity of their limbs, can honestly say that they are vulnerable. So who is the vulnerable ones? I'll tell you who I believe who they claim the vulnerable ones is. The vulnerable ones, according to this left-leaning article statement here, and this statement is people of color. Black people are the vulnerable people in America, and she's an advocate. Kamala Harris is an advocate for them. In what way is Kamala Harris an advocate for black people when she was the one that helped support the 94 crime bill? Do we need to go there? That basically put put a lot of black people behind bars during this time for merely having, I don't know, a few grams of marijuana or something like that, and they were put in jail for 10, 15, 20 years from what I'm hearing and what I'm reading. Is that really justice? Is that really justice? Oh, well, it's the Democratic Party. I mean, after all, they were the true political party of slavery anyway, so it makes sense for the Democrats to support a bill like that would put black people, the very people that they actually hated then and hate now, behind bars. But anyway, I digress. Yeah. In what way was she helping blacks during that time? In what way was she an advocate for people of color? In what way did Kamala Harris's actions help the vulnerable people in our society? Please tell me in the comment box. I don't know where. I don't know where she actually benefited anyone. At any rate, I really don't know. I mean, maybe she did when she was a prosecutor, prosecuting general attorney. But okay, yeah, you get criminals off the street and so forth. But you supported the 94 crime bill, and said in an interview that you're going to make sure, and I'm paraphrasing her words, in an interview during this time, that she was going to make sure she was going to follow the law to the strictest sense. Okay, but how did that contribute to the black community? How did it contribute to black people? And I'm making it specific to black people because that's what this is all about, right? Black people. But anyway, the NAACP, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not surprised, rather, that they would be honoring her, because here's the deal about the NAACP. If you guys have not, any of you guys have not seen Uncle Tom 1 and Uncle Tom 2, I highly advise that you do. But if you've seen Uncle Tom 1 and you didn't see Uncle Tom 2, which came out in 2022, I highly, highly recommend that you do. Both of these are documentaries. And they're some of the best documentaries on the conservative blacks that I've ever seen. Uncle Tom 2, and I'm not going to spoil it, but Uncle Tom 2, I'm just going to get a little bit of it. Uncle Tom 2 does talk more about communism and how communism basically infiltrated a lot of these so-called black movements and black establishments. Communism, particularly from Russia, infiltrated, and Cuba, infiltrated the black movements that we know we now have today. They largely infiltrated these movements and used black people as cannon fodder to push their communist agenda in order to completely bring about a violent revolution in America. That's all I'm going to say right there. And they mentioned that the NAACP, okay, was basically a organization founded by a white socialist female. Showed her face, traced it back to it. That wasn't a black movement. So this would make sense that they would honor someone as unaccomplished, in my opinion, as Kamala Harris. On a political level, she's unaccomplished. On a lawyer's level, she may be accomplished, but on a political level, she's truly unaccomplished. It makes sense to me that they would honor someone like Kamala Harris. Now, you would be asking why, Mr. Bolin. I mean, you mentioned communism, because communist objective then and now is to keep as much division as possible in a society. They are trying to push a violent communist revolution. People have this fear that it's going to be a civil war. I believe one day there will be a civil war. But this civil war is going to be largely created by outside forces, the communist agitators who have been stirring up dissension and division among whites and blacks, heterosexuals and homosexuals and all kinds of groups. They have been stirring up division for decades. Where do you think a lot of this division came from? Why are we so divided in America today? One of the reasons, if not the only reason why we're so divided, is because the communists since the 1920s have infiltrated every institution in our country and have purposely caused untold division in this country to the point where people are hating each other and they don't even know why they're hating each other. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. I highly recommend people watch Uncle Tom 2. Came out in 2022. It's an excellent documentary on how communism infiltrated the civil rights movement, infiltrated a lot of these black movements, the Black Panthers and all this. You'll find out. You'll find out. But anyway, that's what I believe the situation is here. Of course, they would honor Kamala Harris. Of course they would. Of course they would honor her. They're not going to stop honoring her, even though she has not contributed to black people as a whole, period. So I just wanted to say that here it's not a surprise to me. It's not a surprise to me, and it shouldn't be a surprise to any thinking adult that the NAACP would honor someone like Kamala Harris with this award. It's no surprise to me. It's no surprise to me because they know that this is going to cause backlash. People going to fall for people going to fall for. Well, wow, yo, she's so this and the other. Oh, she's so awesome. She's so this. She claimed to be black. The woman is not black. Stop it, please, please, please don't. She's not black, y'all. She's not black. Okay, we're not going to even go there. But yeah, that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think about this situation with Kamala Harris being honored? You think she should be honored in the NAACP award? You think NAACP award? You think she should be honored? Image Award, you think she should be honored? You think she really contributed a lot to society and black people in general? Because that's really what this is aimed at, okay? Do you think she's actually done that? Please put it in the comment box and let me know. Because I'm not feeling it. I don't see where. All I see is division. That's all I see is divisiveness coming from her and the Democrats. But anyway, that's my opinion. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.